contest last year and this year, and you could help design that paint scheme. Rob Jesselson talked with the winners of this year's contest.
Well, we certainly have a very cool story for you. We're now by the U21 Payne West Insurance boat, and as you can see, it's got a different paint scheme than what it did this time last year. A lot of green on it. We're now joined by the owner of the boat, Daryl Strong. Daryl, you guys actually had a contest for this paint scheme, is that right?
We did, and I think we had 17 people compete on our Facebook page, and came to the top 10, and I looked at them and picked the one I liked. And I love green on race boats because it really pops on the water. So that's the one I picked.
So just to go over it, they were able to paint the boat, I guess, make a paint scheme for the boat, and you were able to pick the winner then?
Yeah, you just see the boat electronically. They put the paint scheme on the boat, and then we just picked the one we liked.
Awesome. Well, you certainly picked a big one and a great one. This are actually the winners, Brian and Mary O'Neill, who designed the paint scheme for the boat. So, guys, how did you enter this contest?
Well, we attend the boat races every year, and it was right around his birthday, and my brother-in-law happened to send him a link, and I had been nagging him for weeks, like, what do you want for your birthday? He's got everything, and he's like, I don't need anything, and all of a sudden he's like, babe, come here, I know what I want for my birthday. And I'm like, what? He's like, I want you to enter this contest. I'm like, what if I don't win? And, so I did a little research and entered the contest and thankfully won.
Yeah, absolutely. The boat looks great. The paint scheme looks beautiful. So what went behind the decision to, make it as green and all the other integral pieces that you created?
Well, this is my 6th year out at the races, and every year I do notice the green boats stand out on the water more so than any other color. So I kind of went and looked at the history of the U21 and noticed that it was green way back in the day, and thought that was pretty cool and said, it's time to do a little retro. So I looked up some of the older hydroplanes and really liked how they had the U21 on the Swanson, and so I just kind of all pieced together, and I thought it would stand out the best on the water.
Well, it really does stand out. Brian, what did you think when you heard you had won?
Well, it was the best birthday gift I could have received. She, and God love her, she constantly is asking me what I want for my birthday, and my younger brother had told us about the contest, and I was like, this is perfect. And so I was pleasantly surprised. We were told before they officially announced it, so we had to kind of keep it under wraps for a while, which was tough because we were very excited about it. But it was the best birthday gift that I could have received. So very, very thankful.
Awesome. Well, the boat looks great. You did a fantastic job. So when you see the U21 out on the water this weekend, just know that it was the O'Neills that created the paint scheme. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
We'll send it back to you.
Okay, well, the winner and a birthday present all in one. Kay Brewer, thank you so much. Chip Hanauer has made his way back up from the pits after driving the Atlas. We appreciate you being up here to work with us on the 5 liters and the Grand Prix, and we'll see you again next week in Seattle because you're working with us again.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Mark. I've had a great time this weekend, and it was so much fun working side by side with you, but I just really want to thank the SWX broadcast team. You guys have worked so hard all weekend to make this one of the top broadcasting weekend.
Tell you what, let's send it down to our SWX reporter, Matt Funk, the U-Pullet Auto Parts Pit Cam. He's going to talk about vintage hydroplanes at the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum with David Williams.
That's right, fresh out of the boat with his ears burning. You guys are talking a lot of good stuff about him. It is David Williams, the director of the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum. That's always a mouthful for me.
It's tough for me sometimes, too.
Well, how did it go for you out there?
It could not have gone better. It's amazing how well these machines are working and how beautiful they are. And frankly, if you were around, and Chip can attest to this, if you were around in the 70s and 80s, they were not this reliable back then. I am just so grateful for the volunteer crews. And, if you look at who's working for us, not only do we have the famous Chip Hanauer and Mike Hansen, both Gold Cup winners driving for us, but we have crew chief Larry Hansen, who we borrowed from, Oberto a couple of years ago, and Mike Hansen, who will be Oberto crew chief next weekend. We got Danny High, who was crew chief for Bill Worcester for a couple dozen years. I mean, we have some real talent doing this stuff for us. And the boats, going at the backstretch there, I would just pull in real tight on Mike and look at the pay and pack and just giggle to myself because there's water glistening and the paint's shining. It is the most spectacular thing, and I'm the luckiest son of a gun in the world.
You had a little smack talk for Chip.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I noticed we left the dock. There were 3 of us, and after about a lap and a half, someone couldn't stand the competition, was scared of getting beat by a novice, so he backed out. I mean, at least that's what I'm telling the story in the bar tonight, is that Chip couldn't take the heat, so he got out of the kitchen.
He might be a little too comfortable up there in the booth.
Well, he's sitting there with K-Dub, and, he's probably got air conditioner and someone bringing him drinks, and it's not like being in the cockpit. He may be going soft. He might be going soft.
He's been calling for a corn dog all day.
At least it's not a driver's rep. If he's not calling for the driver's rep, I'm okay. But, honestly, Chip, thank you so much for all you've done for us. He's taught me a lot about driving. This show driving doesn't look like it's that tough, but it is every bit as difficult as competition because you got to put the boats exactly where you want them and you got to trust each other. There were some times when between the 3 of us out there, I think Chip had 10 feet between him and Mike Hansen, and I had 10 feet between me and Chip, and we were doing 125, 130 miles an hour. So there's some real driving going on, and Chip has taught me an awful lot about that.
And I can't let you go without talking about this kooky plan we've been putting together for the last couple of weeks, and we want to let everybody know, if you haven't heard, we want everybody to come with us on the bus.
Come with us on the bus
to Seafair. And we're still at the waterfallies and everything, but if you haven't got enough boat racing this weekend, there's more to come, of course, at Seafair, and we want everybody to come with us on the bus to Seafair. You can go to our Facebook page, your Facebook page, our website. It's all over the place. $125. Get on the bus, get into Seafair, back out of Seafair.
Heck, we'll give you a pit tour when you're there. And then, after the race is over, you get a bus back to the KNDU parking lot in Tri-Cities, and you don't have to buy a hotel or anything like that. So it's a great deal, and it's your idea. Well, it's Chip's idea. It was Chip's idea.
That's right.
Well, if it makes money, it's your idea. If it loses money, it was Chip's idea.
There you go.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Matt.
No problem, David. Send it back up to Mark and Chip.
Equal time?
Yeah, I got here just in time. Maggie, our camera person, I didn't have my headset on, so put your headset on. They're really making fun of you. So now I'm offended. I don't think I can do the broadcast from here on out. I'm so upset. I'm a very sensitive man.
Well, it was David who was ragging on you there. So
it's tough.
It's all in good fun and good racing, and part of the family.
Well,
part of the big family.
It's what he was talking about. It's so funny because when I used to go out in a race boat and I had people next to me, especially on the inside, I'm thinking, what can I do to mess him up? But now when you're doing this exhibition, you look and you go, what can I do to make it easier for him? So it's really fun to actually be in a cooperative mode as opposed to a combative mode. So
and the fans just love it. Fans love it.
It's just that darn noise, Mark. I got to watch one heat this morning up here without being in the boat, and that noise is just magical. Yeah. It just has an effect.
Everybody comes running to see him when they hear the noise.
There's a lot of people down there. On my way from the pits to here, there's a lot of folks here.
I'm glad they're enjoying the great weather and the racing, and we have our championship heat, the Hapo Columbia Cup, coming up, scheduled for 4 o'clock, so we're only 20 minutes away from a start, so we're getting into a time when he's thinking about countdowns. Our SWX broadcast is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Tomlinson Associated Brokers, and we'll be back shortly.
Here at Coldwell Banker, we're about much more than just real estate.
We've spent almost 50 years as a top local brokerage,
building a professional network of real estate agents,
creating lasting relationships with our clients,
and understanding the ins and outs of every transaction.
We've been through some of the best training programs
so we can better serve our clients every day.
We continue to believe that home is much more than what we sell.
Home is in our hearts. Home is who we are. The Hapo Columbia Cup Dash for Cash is brought to you by H1 Unlimited. You too can be part of the most exciting extreme sport on water. Sponsorships are an extremely vital part of the sport and are what keep Unlimited hydroplanes coming back to the best place to watch racing each year. Sponsors keep the sport alive with all the expenses teams face, including parts, maintenance, travel, and much more. Go to h1unlimited.com for additional information on how to get involved.
Ankle sprains and sports injuries occasionally happen when you play as hard as you work. And when they do, see the experts at Tri-City Foot and Ankle Center in Richland. Waiting to treat an injured foot or ankle could result in longer recoveries. And unresolved injuries tend to affect you as you get older. At Tri-City Foot and Ankle Center, we treat sprains and ankle injuries. But most importantly, we treat you. For high-quality comprehensive care and same-day appointments, call Tri-City Foot and Ankle Center today at 509-591-9454. That's 591-9454.
Nice look over at the Pasco side from our helicopter shot.
Beautiful.
Chip.
What a beautiful community out here in the desert with a beautiful blue river running right through it. Pretty hard to beat.
It is a nice place to be, and it is a gorgeous weekend here on the Columbia River for the Hapo Columbia Cup. The final coming up in now less than 20 minutes. Start time set for 4 o'clock, and it looks like we're at 3:43. So we'll be getting countdown shortly, about 17 minutes to the start here. Well, let's go down to the other end of our race course, and we'll talk with Rob and Tracy.
Hey guys, thank you so much. It was just beautiful taking a look at the Pasco side. You know, it's always a debate. Which side is better? Pasco, Kennewick. What do you think?
I think they're both great. I really do. I'm going to go with the safe answer and say both sides.
Oh, okay. Well, that is what we do in this. I prefer Pasco side just because, you know, there's a little more grass, a little more space. But if you're here for the people and the people watching and seeing all your friends, definitely Kennewick side. So equally as unbiased answer, I hope. Anyway, as we're getting closer to the Hapo Columbia Cup, I mean, we've been waiting for this all year long. I mean, we'll say weekend, but seriously, once it's over, we start looking ahead to next year's waterfallies. And yeah, we've been looking forward to this for a long time. And especially after last year's, there was a bit of controversy and a little bit of excitement that went into last year's Columbia Cup winner, right?
Yeah, a little bit of both. If you remember, after the race ended, it was Jimmy Shane, the U1 Miss Home Street Bank Boat, that was initially named the winner, but an hour and a half later, the officials reversed the call, giving the Hapo Columbia Cup to J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking, what was the U5 boat.
And
then 6 months later, the call was reversed once again, and the cup was given back to Jimmy Shane in the U1. If you forgot how it all went down, here's another look.
They collided. We've had a collision in the west turn.
This was the scene a year ago at the Hapo Columbia Cup final. On turn 2 at the end of lap number 1, Jimmy Shane and the Miss Home Street Bank Boat collided with Jean Theoret in the U16 Alberto. Theoret was immediately given a penalty, while Shane would go on to take the lead. Meanwhile, since he was originally penalized, Theoret slowed down, getting passed by J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking U5. So Shane would go on to cross the finish line first, with Kelly in second, right? Wrong. After further review and an hour and a half later, H1 officials decided to overturn the penalty, ruling Jimmy Shane caused the accident and penalizing him instead of Theoret, and as a result, awarding the race to J. Michael Kelly. So Kelly would celebrate his win.
For me, I will take it just because of the guys that they deserved it more than anything on my team, just because they've spent the last 2 weeks every single night giving me a boat that wasn't even supposed to race this year. So For that I am grateful, and for the win I'm grateful just for them.
Fast forward to nearly 6 months later, after a protest was submitted by the Home Street Bank team, the American Powerboat Association stepped in and changed the winner, awarding the Columbia Cup to Jimmy Shane and the Miss Home Street Bank. All because it took H1 Unlimited an hour and a half after the race to make their decision, when the rulebook states the final decision must be made within 30 minutes of the end of the race.
Disappointing that the decision didn't stand as it was at the end of the race last year, but in the end it worked out like it was supposed to, and obviously it's a big advantage being able to be underneath that tree.
It is what it is. Calls get made, and it's unfortunate that it was 6 months later down the road and to find out that the victory got taken away and the tree got taken away. But for me and most of the guys on the team, it's just kind of, it is what it is, and put it behind us and move forward. And this race is a new race, and now it's just, try to go win this race so we can get that tree too.
So certainly a bit of a sore subject for J. Michael Kelly after he was given the cup only to have it taken away. But like he said, it is what it is. Today's a new race.
Absolutely. And speaking of, let's send it back up to our esteemed announcers, Mark Allen, Chip Hanauer.
Thank you very much, Tracy. We have... I think we've got Matt Funk, and we're kind of missing one of our unlimited hydroplanes, the U440. It's a smaller boat, and they've had, if they haven't had bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all this weekend. It just has been a series of things that maybe they couldn't control. So let's go down to the U-Pullet Auto Parts pit cam, our SWX reporter, Matt Funk, and team owner, Kelly Stocklin.
Yeah, we're down here with Kelly, and he's going to explain what exactly happened to him that knocked him out of the final heat race and the final. Had a couple of problems. You said, what was it? You gained some speed, but
you also gained some trouble. The boat's going significantly faster this year, and we made some changes that made it perform much better. And with that comes a whole new set of problems. One of the problems that we had was with the right spots, and it happened earlier in the weekend. But the one that took us out today, because we didn't have time to fix it, is a panel just in front of the propeller that failed as he was coming down the front straightaway in a preliminary heat.
You can get under their cliff, and Kelly, you can show us just exactly what happened there.
So we use second pieces of aluminum to join the honeycomb together, and it's called a doubler. And this piece that is folded up is a doubler for the bottom, and it's also for reinforcement of the strut which the propeller rides in. And when that failed, it created a real problem for us, and we could not fix it in time for the final.
All right, well, we're sorry to hear that. Glad to hear you're gaining some speed, but like we said, a good thing caused some bad things for you.
Yes, it did, but we'll keep swinging. This is what I do this is my life, and I'm going to keep doing it.
And it's on to Seafair for you.
Oh yeah, we're going to Seafair.
That's home, right?
Yes, it's going to be a lot of late nights, but we'll be there.
All right, well, good luck to you there, and better luck to you there.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, back to you guys on the other end.
Lots of folks have had some problems. They're going to be working late nights this week.
It is. Of course, Seafair is a week from today in Seattle, so you figure you waste half a day getting home, and then you got a lot of work to do. So as he said, what they're going to do is work a number of 24-hour days. Brian Perkins' boat, same thing. Those are not fun.
No. J. Michael Kelly's boat had a little bit of a delamination at the back of the boat, but they fixed that overnight. So that shouldn't be a problem. But
the other problem, Mark, is on weeks like that, you get the boat fixed, you get to the race site, and everybody's dead tired. And then that can compound itself with more mistakes. So it's a tough situation.
back-to-back races. That's it's hard. That's a hard deal because you got a problem. You got something you have to fix. You don't have an awful lot of time, which is why the Go Fast Turn Left racing team took the boat back to Maple Valley very, very early this morning. They were thinking about doing it last night, but they did take it out early this morning. So they're back there by now and already thrashing on that boat because they have probably more work to do than anybody.
Absolutely.
So we will be looking for 6 unlimited hydroplanes in the championship heat for the Columbia Cup. This SWX broadcast is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Tomlinson Associated Brokers. Guess what? We've got the final coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Bring your own tools, pull your own parts, and save big money. You Pull It Auto Parts is a self-service yard and the best place for used auto parts in the Columbia Basin. They have a huge selection of over 750 late model vehicles, both foreign and domestic, and a friendly staff to help you find the parts you need. Shop their lot full of used cars, parts cars, and cars ready to be rebuilt. Visit You Pull It Auto Parts in Yakima and Pasco and online at go2youpullit.com. Open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hi, my name is Lee Jacobs, and I'm here to explain to you why you should think Lynx Healthcare. Last summer, I was told that I needed back surgery. My primary care doctor suggested that I try chiropractic treatment with the Lynx Healthcare system. I no longer am even considering back surgery, and I'm happy. Think Lynx Healthcare.
Well, we had expected, Chip, to see the final start at 4 o'clock. We've slid about 10 minutes, so the scheduled start now is 4:10. So we won't see boats on the water here for just a little while, but going to be a barn burner.
Go get yourself a sandwich or a beverage. Use the restroom because you're not going to want to miss this final. Kay Myers was just talking about how excited she was to see this when she left. I agree. I think this is shaping up to be, if not a great boat race, I think it's going to be a controversial boat race because I think these guys have got their knives out.
And they can't go out on the race course until 5 minutes. Did I say 5 o'clock? It's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock for the 10-minute mark and then 10 after 4 for the start. They can't go out on the race course until the 5-minute gun has sounded. That in the past they'd let them go out for earlier, but for the last couple of years, can't leave the dock until 5 o'clock or until 5 minutes before the start. And so we're going to see a compressed amount of cutting the course, maybe leapfrogging. A lot of the stuff that we've seen a little bit earlier in the day and earlier in the weekend, but it's now all going to be compressed now, not just 3 boats on the race course or maybe 4, but 6 boats on the race course coming and going and trying to get lane 1. If they can't get lane 1, figure out who they can beat from somewhere else.
I think we need to go back down to the pits. I think we've got something keyed up on capsule training, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, how about that? It really is getting close.
It really is, and I cannot wait for this thing to get started. We've really been waiting, like you said a few minutes ago, all year for this race.
And now that we're in the weekend, it's so important to remember safety is one of the #1 priorities. I would go ahead and say the #1 priority for everyone involved in hydroplane racing. And really, the drivers and rescue divers have to do very special training to find out what they should do if a boat happens to flip out there on the water and end up upside down, which is always something very scary when we see.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, it is something that is part of the sport. Thankfully, we haven't had any flips this weekend. But getting back to your training that both the divers and the drivers have to go through, our very own Kelly Hinseth got a chance to try her own training. Take a look.
Hydroplane boat racing is one of the most anticipated events of the summer in the Tri-Cities. But what fans often don't think about is the risk that comes along with it. That's where these guys come in.
It's basically driver safety, hydro driver safety. We train divers down here at Tri-City Court Club. Basically, Dave White is our instructor. He brings 2 training capsules from the west side over to the Tri-Cities, and we assemble a team of Tri-City Water Follies divers to show up here to do our annual capsule training.
The group of volunteers work all of the boating events throughout the season. They were trained in a week before the Richland Regatta.
Obviously, most of these guys have had specialized diver training, and then they come out to this training. We do it once a year, and so this is where they get their training.
So what does the training look like?
We have 2 safety divers, one on each side of the capsule, watching the training person inside the capsule. Then basically we have a canopy diver, which basically accesses the driver, and we have a surface swimmer who is alongside him that basically grabs the latch of the canopy to open up after the water equalizes in the canopy, so the canopy diver can go in and access the driver.
And when they needed someone to sit in as a driver, I didn't hesitate to volunteer. Well, maybe I hesitated a little bit, but obviously performing a simulation in a pool versus in a river, just a little different.
Well, in the river we have current, and we have the visibility is not nearly as good.
Having done the simulation multiple times, I can safely say our drivers are in highly trained hands.
We go years without having one, and then we'll have 3 in one day. So.
Oh my goodness, what an experience. And it's so nice to know how much that goes into that to make sure everyone stays safe.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, I got a chance to catch up with Kelly when she got back from shooting that story. First thing I had to ask her was, how did it go? And as you can see, it went really well. And then I asked her if she was nervous. I think she was a little bit, but she did a great job. I think anybody would be nervous doing that type of training. But like we saw, she did a fantastic job. Kelly Hinseth, what a trooper.
She is such a trooper. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching here today. We work so hard to get this production on for you guys. And like it's been mentioned a couple times, we are the last TV station to be broadcasting this. So huge kudos to everyone on the SWX crew, to Chip Hanauer, to Mark Allen for coming and being just wonderful announcers. And on that note, we've been live streaming since 10 o'clock this morning on SWX and NBCRightNow.com, both of those websites. So we want to know, where are people watching from?
Yeah, we've had people chime in from really all over the country, even up in Canada. I think I saw somebody from Australia. So really, from all corners of the world, people are tuning into our live stream, and we love being able to bring that to them.
It is a world-class sport, so it's nice to be able to bring it to as many people as possible and just hopefully keep the spirit alive of hydroplacing.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, all right. I think it's time to head back up to our announcers. Let's check in with them.
And our SWX broadcast is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Tomlinson Associated Brokers. We are inside the countdown for the championship. Winner take all heat. Don't go away.
It's outdoor growing season. Check out Wake Up Your Garden during our 6 a.m. newscast on Mondays. Brought to you by Tri-City Garden Supply. Tri-City Garden Supply is your full-service indoor and outdoor garden supply store. Find us just west of Kellogg on Clearwater. For growers, by growers.
Corwin Ford in Tri-Cities is your locally owned and operated truck headquarters. Right now, we have record inventory levels of 2017 F-150s and all new Super Duties that must go. To help reduce inventory levels, Corwin Ford has reduced prices across all truck lines. Now is your time to come in and save and see why the F-150 is America's best-selling truck. Or check out the fully redesigned 2017 Super Duty. More power, more room, and more features. Ford is your local truck headquarters. Online at CorwinFordTriCities.com.
Living Green with NBC Right Now.
Ben Franklin Transit provides you with many opportunities to live green. Public transportation goes a long way toward helping our environment by conserving our natural resources, reducing air pollution, easing congestion, and saving you money. Ben Franklin Transit provides a safe and affordable way to travel to work, visit friends, get to appointments, shopping, movies, and so much more.
For more info on Living Green, log on to NBCRightNow.com.
Soft water is great, but E-Series water is awesome. With E-Series water from Soft Water Specialists, you'll have better than bottled water quality at every tap at the house. So you'll drink better water, brush your teeth in better water, and take a bath in better water.
Free installation has been extended, so if you want the best water for the best price, buy an E-Series whole house system from Soft Water Specialists before August 5th and we'll install it for free.
Soft Water Specialists, we make water taste good again.
It's outdoor growing season. Check out Wake Up Your Garden during our 6 a.m. newscast on Mondays. Brought to you by Tri-City Garden Supply. Tri-City Garden Supply is your full-service indoor and outdoor garden supply store. Find us just west of Kellogg on Clearwater. For growers, by growers.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest. Like the mountains in springtime, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses, come fill me again. Come, let me love you, let me always be with you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me
Welcome to the 52nd running of the Hapo Columbia Cup on the mighty Columbia River. Only NBC Right Now and SWX bring you exclusive hydro coverage on your hometown station. Presented by Coldwell Banker Tomlinson Associated Brokers.
Back on the Columbia River, awaiting the championship heat of the Hapo Columbia Cup with Chip Hanauer. Here are the boats that are in our winner-take-all final. The Miss Home Street, that is your defending Columbia Cup champion, Jimmy Shane in the U1.
U3, Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware with Jimmy King, who's had a great day. If he can get the inside lane, don't count him out even with a piston engine.
Could this be Jimmy's first unlimited hydroplane win in the many years he's raced? U9, Les Schwab Tires, Andrew Tate, another one to watch.
U11, Mr. Julio presents J&D STEM Acceleration. Right now, Tom Thompson would get my vote for the driver of the race. And if he can get the inside lane, he could see his first win this weekend.
J. Michael Kelly in the U12, Graham Trucking, another one who's going to be right up there in front, and Slicing and Dyson for the inside lane.
U99.9, Leland Unlimited Racing presents Car Stars Powered Miss Rock with Greg Hopp. I don't give him much of a shot. Let's just hope he doesn't get mixed up in the fray here.
I think Greg knows pretty much where he needs to be, and he's not going to get in front of somebody or block somebody's access to an inside lane or a good racing lane. Everybody up and running out on the race course.
I think the fight for the inside lane is about to start at 3 minutes and 15 seconds. They are all now going to start. This is the chess game. Where do I want to be at 1 minute that will give me that inside lane?
Now, Andrew Tate accelerates around the Blue Bridge turn. He is at full song, but Jimmy King has cut through the inside. 3 minutes to go before the start, and you've got Jimmy King on the backstretch, and he is in lane number one now. Make sure that that's Jimmy King.
But with 2 minutes, and Andrew just cut in front of him, we got a little gas from the crowd. So there you go, folks. The knives are out, and it's not over yet. We still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds for them to fight over this inside lane.
Absolutely a great shot. And you can see what this is happening. We got Wakes going through the infield. We got another boat, that's Jimmy King coming through the infield. Greg Hopp is on the outside. I think that's probably where he wants to be. And Jimmy King has cut through the infield and secured lane number one for the time being. Greg Hopp far out on your left, Jimmy King along the buoy line on the right, coming down the front straightaway. And now he cuts through again.
The key phrase, for the time being. I think this inside lane is going to switch hands probably about 3 or 4 times before we get to the 1 minute gun.
We'll see. What a great way to illustrate the slicing and dicing at 2 minutes. Greg Hopp coming up the backstretch. Again, he will be on the outside by choice, not by assignment. People coming through. Jimmy King is doing donuts through the infield. He's taking a book out of Dave Wilwalk's playbook, because Dave used to do this quite regularly.
You know, if we can get that helicopter shot again, just look at the wakes and you'll see that everybody is not trying to be. There you go. You see the wakes. Everybody's cutting through the course. Everybody's trying different strategies. There you see a bunch of boats all following each other. Oh, there goes. Somebody's just cut the inside to try to pick up the inside lane on the far side of the course. This is a big chess game, and it's still going to go on for another 45 seconds before the number one lane is established.
Yeah, I think we're looking at these boats right now, trying to establish the lanes that they have. They're a minute and 8. Yeah, they are early.
They're early. See, that's what we've been talking about all day. You can get the inside, but how big a price are you going to pay to get it? Right now, they are very, very early. And it looks like the guy that's got the inside right now is that red boat. That's the piston-powered boat, and that's
it's Jimmy King.
Jimmy King. They are awfully early.
He's got the 9, Les Schwab, right beside him, following them. You've got the Home Street Bank. You've got Greg Hopp going up the backstretch. J. Michael Kelly's got to be hidden in the Rooster Tail beside the Home Street Bank with 33 seconds to go. Jimmy King looks like he is going to hang on to lane number 1. They're at the apex of the west turn.
So early. They're going to be just stopped at the start line. So can someone like a Tom Thompson, who's held back, hit the start line with 50 more miles an hour and go by him on the outside?
It looks like it's going to be Jimmy King in lane 1, Tate in lane 2, the Home Street in lane 3. Coming up is J. Michael Kelly in lane 4. 5 is Thompson, and we'll see 2-1. Oh, my goodness, Kelly with a perfect start and a head of steam.
He did the right thing. He did. He's close. I don't know that he didn't jump. If he didn't jump, it's a perfect start. He let those guys fight for the inside, and look at that helicopter shot. Look at the lead he has going into turn 1.
Make sure everybody gets through cleanly, and you got a lot of water and a lot of boats right there as they come through turn number 1. This is a 5-lap final, and you've got J. Michael Kelly in the lead, side by side coming up the backstretch, Jimmy King and the Home Street Bank with Jimmy Shane. Everybody else hidden in the Rooster Tail. Greg Hopp following the field. But your leader is J. Michael Kelly. There's Jimmy King. He is right next to the Home Street Bank. And J. Michael Kelly is out in lane number 3, but he has got a lot of speed, and we'll see as they turn the corner. Very tight on the buoy line is Jimmy King. J. Michael Kelly in the lead, and the Home Street Bank with Jimmy Shane. He is right next to Jimmy King. King is second at the end of lap number 1. Shane third, but Kelly leads him. And Tom Thompson will come across fourth as they go to the Blue Bridge turn. Kelly is just flying the boat as he heads down to the Blue Bridge turn. He doesn't have enough of an overlap, Chip, to make any move to the inside.
It's awfully close. He needs 5 boat lengths, but he doesn't have it yet. And he did the right thing. We are anxious to hear if he jumped the gun or not. They were fighting for the inside lane. They were early. J. Michael Kelly said, you can have the inside lane. I'm going to hit the outside with a lot of boat speed. And you know what? Where's Andrew Tate? He's not in this fight.
We don't even see him. I think he is the third boat in the pack that we're looking at right now. The Home Street Bank, the Ace Hardware, and somewhere in that mix is Andrew Tate. But right now, your race at the head of the pack is J. Michael Kelly, followed.
Now he does. He can come to the inside now.
Yeah, he does have that overlap, and it looks like that is exactly what he's going to do. Let's see how close he comes to the buoy line. It looks like he has moved over, still has some room.
Now, the only thing is what's going through his mind, you're looking at the race for second right there between Jimmy Shane and the Home Street Bank and the U3 with Jimmy King. Right now, it's clean sailing for the boat you see right there, but did he jump the gun? It's either a perfect start or he's over. We are waiting to hear.
Off the Blue Bridge turn, lap number 3. It is a good start, Chip. It's a good start. Officials have ruled it a good start, and J. Michael Kelly is running away with this race. The real race is for second place between Jimmy King on the inside and the Home Street Bank on the outside, lane number 2, lane number 3, and Andrew Tate lagging back and forth. But boy, you've got a terrific race for second place on lap number 3 coming to that west end turn. Jimmy King on the inside and Jimmy Shane on the outside, and they are absolutely side by side as they come through the turn.
And that is a 1930s vintage piston engine up against a turbine, and he's pulling out a lead. He is pulling it out.
it'll be Jimmy King second across the line at the end of lap 3, about 3 boat lengths between him and Mr. Jimmy Shane. And Andrew Tate brings the boat way up out of the water. He's trying to catch those two guys too, and he might just do it because he's eating into that rooster tail.
You know what I like about J. Michael Kelly is he thought out of the box. He said, I'm going to let those guys fight for the inside lane, get there early. I'm going to have a clean shot, and I'm going to hit the start line with a bunch of boat speed, and look at how well that's paid off for him.
And he's got a big lead, but your big race right now is for second place, and the second place boat is Jimmy King in the piston-powered Ace Hardware. The Home Street Bank has fallen back to third place, and he is about half a rooster tail behind, and here comes Andrew Tate up behind both of them. Looking for the white flag. This will be the end of lap number 4 for J. Michael Kelly in the lead. He's got a half a straightaway lead, Chip, over the rest of the boats.
Unbelievable. He thought for himself, and it's paid off. The two boats coming into the weekend, the Home Street Bank and Les Schwab Tire, I thought were the odds-on favor. They're fighting over third, and here comes Andrew Tate to take third away from Jimmy Shane in the Home Street Bank.
Jimmy King has a good lead in second place over the Home Street Bank, and Andrew Tate is going to eat into that rooster tail, and he is, well, he took a little wider turn that time, so he didn't quite make it. But you can see from the overhead, Andrew Tate is the boat on the outside.
And
he is
ahead of steam.
Really going to roll up the backstretch and very well could pass Jimmy Shane. But the story is J. Michael Kelly, half a backstretch lead over the second place boat, which is Jimmy King in the Griggs Ace Hardware. Here comes J. Michael Kelly. He is looking at the checkered flag flying from the official stand. He's coming down to the Corwin Ford of Tri-Cities finish line. J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking will win the 2017 Hapo Columbia Cup. And coming hard in second place, Jimmy King and the U3, the Griggs Ace Hardware. A great race right now for third place. Andrew Tate not quite able to catch Jimmy Shane in the Home Street Bank. Shane third and Tate fourth.
You just saw the chess game part of boat racing. J. Michael Kelly, a very gifted natural boat driver, came up with a strategy that he knew nobody else was going to try, which is to hang back, go the longer distance, but have a lot of boat speed at the line, and it worked. And then the U3, the piston-powered boat, finishing a strong second on merit. Unbelievable.
Well, here comes Greg Hopp, and he will take the checkered flag. Somewhere along the line, we have Tom Thompson either went back to the pits or he went down in the water.
He's dead in the water right there.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
Just off of turn 2 there.
Yeah, so he's did not finish. Unfortunately, this was a great weekend for these guys right here, the U11 J&Ds.
You know, I hope we get a chance, or I hope Matt gets a chance to talk to Jimmy Shane and to Andrew Tate, because I think they're in shock. I think they came in here thinking we have a boat that either one of them that nobody can touch, and they just got their lunch handed to them.
Well, by a couple of boats.
By a couple of boats, and I don't think they expected that.
Oh, who'd have thought the piston-powered would be right on time and right where he needed to be? And other than the fact that J. Michael Kelly just ran away from everybody, you know, and if Mike had jumped the gun, Jimmy would have won the race.
Exactly. And I think this goes to show, everybody always asks, is it the driver or the equipment? And the answer is both, because the boats that finished third and fourth were probably the best pieces of equipment out there if you were an odds maker. But by great driving on J. Michael Kelly's part and by Jimmy King, they took less equipment and did better. And as a driver, nothing feels better than to win with a little less. And I hope Matt gets a chance to interview Andrew and Jimmy Shane to get their reaction.
Well, I think Jimmy King's going to be pretty pumped, and Ed Cooper and the whole Cooper Racing team, they had a great weekend this weekend.
That thing was fast. That was really fast.
Let's take a look at our unofficial results of the 2017 championship heat for the Hapo Columbia Cup. First place to J. Michael Kelly in the 12 Graham Trucking. Second place to Jimmy King in the U3 Griggs Ace Hardware. Third place to Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. Fourth place to Andrew Tate in the Les Schwab Tires. Fifth place to CarStar presents Miss Rock. And it did not finish to Tom Thompson and the U11 Miss DiGiulio J&D's Fabrication. This SWX broadcast is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Tomlinson Associated Brokers. Okay, we're not going to go to break right now. We've got the winner, and so let's go down to the U-Pullett Auto Parts Pit Cam. Our SWX reporter, Matt Funk. Take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Mark. We're here with the big Columbia Cup winner, J. Michael Kelly. You said you were going to gamble. I'll call you the gambler because that worked out. Swung for the fences and it worked.
Yeah, no, I mean, these guys gave me something that would go out and win. But first of all, I got to thank Rob Graham, my long-time sponsor. Huge fan of the sport, and he finally stepped up and became an owner. Very first unlimited race as an owner and wins.
A win the first time, Rob?
How about a hug? It's pretty cool. This is really special.
Go for it.
I don't even know what to say. This is just amazing. Absolutely. I never expected it. Nothing toward Mike. He's got everything we need, but it's been a tough weekend, man.
Yeah.
It's been a tough weekend.
I just got to thank Rob Graham for opening up his wallet and becoming an owner. I love driving for Ted Porter, and it was Ted Porter's time. He decided to call it quits, and Rob stepped up and became an owner, and couldn't ask for a better owner. It's great for our sport, and
couldn't ask for a better driver. Couldn't ask for a better crew. These guys, I've said it before. If people knew what these guys have done to get this boat here, and
Dave Bell, Johnny Walker, my dad Jeff Gilly, and Sandy Pearl, and then of course you got 50 other Graham Trucking crew guys that have all lent a hand. But it's just they make my job easy, and I'm the lucky. These guys are crazy. They want to go sit in the sun and wrench on this boat, and I thank them for that and give me the opportunity to go 200 miles an hour in the water.
That's got to be especially sweet. We know what happened last year. It was back and forth. You had it. It was taken away, and now you got it back again.
Yeah, no, it's crazy out there. We were kind of looking for speed this entire time, but like I said, these guys don't give up, and we had something sitting in there, and it worked. So
yeah, it looks like you really did, and you won from the outside. Nobody wins from the outside.
Yeah, I didn't think we could do it, but it was all or nothing. I hit that start wide open, and I led them to the first turn, and I was able to get through there clean, and it worked out great. So I'm just so thankful, and I gotta thank, wish my buddy Greg Jones. He's been battling cancer, and he made the trek out here, and I wore a shirt today in this final heat, so maybe that was my good luck. So, Greg Jones, thinking of you, buddy.
So, all right, thanks, Mike. Well, there you have it.
Indeed, he is. So let's.
Well, an emotional J. Michael Kelly, and given what happened last year, as they said, they talked about that. We were talking about incentives earlier, and the big incentive for Mike to come in, and he gambled. He was right on the money for the start.
But J. Michael Kelly is truly one of the most gifted natural race drivers I've ever seen. He went to the Outboard Nationals, which is hugely competitive. And if you can win one stock Outboard National Championship, you are amazing. He won 5 in one race. So when you're watching J. Michael Kelly, you're watching a very special kid.
Looking forward to seeing if Matt Funk can round up some other drivers and get their perspective on this final heat. It was a barn burner. Our SWX broadcast is brought to you by Coldwell Banker Tomlinson Associated Brokers. We will be back, and we'll be talking with more drivers, we hope.
Here at Coldwell Banker, we're about much more than just real estate.
We've spent almost 50 years as a top local brokerage,
building a professional network of real estate agents,
creating lasting relationships with our clients,
and understanding the ins and outs of every transaction.
We've been through some of the best training programs
so we can better serve our clients every day.
We continue to believe that home is much more than what we sell.
Home is in our hearts. Home is who we are.
The Happel Columbia Cup Dash for Cash is brought to you by H1 Unlimited. You too could be part of the most exciting extreme sport on water. Sponsorships are an extremely vital part of the sport and are what keep Unlimited hydroplanes coming back to the best place to watch racing each year. Sponsors keep this alive with all the expenses teams face, including parts, maintenance, travel, and much more. Go to h1unlimited.com for additional information on how to get involved.
Bring your own tools, pull your own parts, and save big money. You Pull It Auto Parts is a self-service yard and the best place for used auto parts in the Columbia Basin. They have a huge selection of over 750 late model vehicles, both foreign and domestic, and a friendly staff to help you find the parts you need. Shop their lot full of used cars, parts cars, and cars ready to be rebuilt. Visit You Pull It Auto Parts in Yakima and Pasco and online at go2youpullit.com. Open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
If you put your clothes through the paces, Bunch Finnegan recommends Speed Queen washers and dryers, constructed with premium metal components, not plastic. A 25-year Speed Queen is built to last longer than any other brand. No surprise, Speed Queen boasts the industry's longest-lasting warranty, 5 times longer, and unlike the competition, includes parts and in-home labor. No pricing surprises at Bunch Finnegan. One price covers it all, with expertise and caring service.
Bunch Finnegan. Thanks a bunch.
Mark Allen and Chip Hanauer back at the start-finish line, and let's go right down to our SWX reporter in the pits, Matt Funk, and the You Pull It Auto Parts pit cam. Matt, you got somebody who's going to have a lot to say, I think.
Yeah, he probably does. Jimmy, can you take us through that last final for us?
Yeah, that was an exciting final. We didn't give ourselves the best position. We had lane 3 for the start, and I really thought the 2 boats, the 9 and the 3, were up there extremely early. I don't know how they were able to keep their boats below 80 miles per hour. I don't even think it's physically possible if you calculate it by the timing, but it's part of racing. You take a risk, and sometimes that risk is a reward. And tight squeeze up here. Jay Michael made a flying start in lane 4 and nailed it perfectly. Somebody was going to have to make a big move to win this race, and Mike took a chance by starting in lane 4, and he took it to us for sure.
Very interesting. A lot of jockeying around. I heard our announcer say Shane is doing donuts in the infield there.
Yeah, it was aggressive, fighting for lanes between all of us. So that's what makes this boat racing exciting, and really happy that we had a clean final. I mean, there was some stuff going on out there, but at the end of the day, the 12 guys won, and congratulations to them. They worked hard all weekend long. I know they made their boat as fast as it's been all weekend long for the final heat, and that's where you need to be fast to win the race. So they did a great job. Congratulations to them. And Miss Home Street, I think, is going to come away in the points lead for high points this weekend. So if we do that, we achieved one of our goals, even though we didn't win the final here. And the boat's in one piece, and we're in good shape for Seafair.
So pretty happy with all in all for you guys.
A good weekend for us. Obviously, we would like to perform better in the final, but I think it's going to be this way all year long, and really happy that we have the quality of boats. I know we're down on quantity, but I think we had 4 or 5 different winners over the heat races this year, and I don't know the last time that's happened. So I think you're going to see this all year long, really tight, close racing. So should be all season long.
And all of them are important with only 4 races.
Every single race is important, so if you can win each weekend on points, obviously that's the goal.
All right, thanks for your time, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Mark and Chip.
Well, he had a lot to say, as we thought he might, but very gracious.
As always.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Not only is there a ton of talent right now in the sport, in the driver's seats, they're great people. And they like each other, they're respectful of each other, and it hasn't always been that way, as you know.
Well, as you know.
As I know.
Yeah, we've been there, done that. So we had a great day of racing. We sent everybody out right side up, brought everybody back right side up, and that's a success in itself.
It is, and it's really unusual. We were talking at break. A very low boat count historically now, but the competition is honestly better than I have ever seen it in the history of the sport.
Yeah, and it's amazing, and it moves to Seattle next weekend for the Seafair race. These same guys will be there, and they will put on their game faces. Now they've got some incentive to do a little bit better, some of the other boats.
And KNDU and the Hydro Museum have done a really smart thing. If they're going to run a bus from the parking lot of KNDU on Sunday morning, I think it's 6:30, go to Seattle with a private area food pit tour so you can go watch the race in Seattle, get back on the bus, and be back here at a reasonable hour.
Maybe you'll get a corn dog if you stop by.
It's the only disappointment this weekend is no corn dog.
Well, we've had a great weekend, Chip, and it's been great working with you. I appreciate it. We've known each other for a long time. We've worked together many, many times. Our crew has been terrific. The folks on the cameras capturing the pictures of those folks coming down the front straightaway. It's just been an absolutely great weekend, and we're going to send it back down to the other end, and I think it's Rob and Tracy who are down there right now.
You thought right. We're still down here, and my goodness, the ending of that race, I mean, you could kind of tell throughout who was going to win, but still, the fans were just going crazy. I have a good picture of everyone going like this right at the end there.
Yeah, it really was as exciting as we thought it would be. How about J. Michael Kelly, after having the Columbia Cup taken away from him last year, really 6 months ago, comes back and leaves no doubt this time around. Congratulations to Mr. Kelly. What a race, such a fun weekend.
And I think it's fairly safe to say that this time there may not be some back and forth, so he can just rest easy with the idea that he won tonight.
Yes, he's going to have to celebrate this championship for a week, but it's to Seafair this time next weekend.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks, SWX, for all the hard work that goes into it, and thanks to all the fans that make this so much fun every year.
Well, we want to thank the volunteers who put this on, all of the volunteers, probably 1,000 or so. We want to say thank you to them. Goodbye to you. We'll see you next year right here.
Summer is almost here. Get ready to show off your smooth, sexy legs with Tri-Cities Vein and Vascular Institute, your premier place for varicose and spider vein treatments. Call 946-9707, that's 946-9707, and start loving your legs again.
We know how much you love the Columbia Cup. Now you can catch even more boat racing when you come with us on the bus to Seafair. The Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum invites you on this special trip for just $125. Beat the traffic and crowds. Get on a charter bus at the KNDU studio and go to Seafair. Round-trip ticket, pit pass, and refreshments included. Tickets available through the museum website.
Come with us on the bus.
Visit NBCRightNow.com for details.
Summer is almost here. Get ready to show off your smooth, sexy legs with Tri-Cities Vein and Vascular Institute, your premier place for varicose and spider vein treatments. Call 946-9707, that's 946-9707, and start loving